Alright, good morning ladies and gentlemen, the Hurricane Watching is here with your latest update on potential Tropical Cyclone 2. This is what we have right now. Currently, as you can see, it's potential tropical cyclone there, as those winds are at around 40 miles per hour. Biggest threats again are going to continue to be that heavy rain, and those heavy rain and that flooding really going to be moving and causing certainly some problems in that area. Also, as you can see here, it's still going to remain a tropical storm as it continues to make its way off to the west, west-northwest, just scraping by the northern Caribbean islands. It is moving at an incredibly fast rate of about 40. That's the wind speed. It is moving at about 30 miles per hour off to the west. And as that continues to happen, it's going to move pretty quickly on areas that will be affected by this Venezuela, Colombia. It is moving away from Trinidad and Tobago right now. Still got tropical storm watches down there are in effect. If I come down here, as you can see right down here, tropical storm watches are in effect down here. As the tropical storm is starting to make it, or the potential tropical storm is making its way away from that coast of Venezuela or Colombia, moving closer to Venezuela right now. So this is going to be the storm that we're going to continue to watch. We're going to be heavy rain down here, gustier winds. We got new radar that's going to be coming in. Very, very excited to see that. Take a look at that. So we got a lot that we're watching right here with this system. Not a whole lot in terms of development-wise, but there's a lot more thunderstorm activity. As you can see, lots of deep thunderstorm activity for sure. It remains a potential tropical cyclone, but with what we got right now, deep thunderstorm activity and quite a bit of it. So, here's what we're going to do. I don't have that open, do I? Fudge. Okay. Are you serious? You're not receiving enough data? Dude, my computer must just be really unpowerful because I have high-speed data right now. We have high-speed internet. I'm getting between 500 and 600 megabits a second. So right now there should not be a problem at all in terms of slow internet. Where's my freaking... That sucks. Okay, it's still starting. I'm going to try to start up this so I can pull up my... So I can pull up the radar sites and show you all some radar. This would... Discord not responding. There we go. Move this right on over here. And we'll wait for this. Scroll up here. Lord, it's just so slow today. Holy crap. Alright, we do have Curacao, I think is a pronunciation of it. I was having a hard time pronouncing that yesterday. I was like, Curacao. I have a hard time pronouncing names. It is taking an incredibly long time to load. This is not cool. Oh, there we go. Let me just zoom out right quick a little bit. So yeah, that's what we got right now. Right, really? Okay. I'm gonna come over here and talk a little bit about the rain that we are seeing with this system right now. As you can clearly see, there is a little bit of heavier showers in this. So you can kind of see the mid-level circulation rotating right there. Northern portions right here, some heavier rain as the storm continues to make its way west. We're moderately heavy rain, not anything super duper crazy, but I do think it's going to get heavier as the storm approaches and it gets closer. This storm isn't going to last days. It's not going to stall. It's moving quick. It's going to pass by. By the end of the day, it's going to be out of y'all's area. It's clipping along at about 30 miles an hour to the west, so it's not going to take too long. But that's what we got right here. You can see some moderate rain in this portion. I'm going to say this is Colombia this is Venezuela and this is Colombia. That's how I see it, but I think it might be actually flipped. Let me just verify that so I can actually get this right, and there's nothing that confusing. Okay, so it's Venezuela and then it's Colombia. Okay, yeah, that's how that works. Venezuela, so this is Venezuela and that's Colombia. That makes sense. So we're seeing some of that heavier rain bands moving over portions of northern Venezuela right now. As you can see here, there are some of those heavy rain bands beginning to push southward. You have some of those outflow channels at the upper levels of the atmosphere. More moderate, heavier rain is still centered well off the coast of Venezuela, but as a storm, we're still seeing a lot of convection. It does appear that part may actually begin to descend closer towards Venezuela, and there may be some more heavier rain throughout the morning, these morning hours, and we may start to see more heavier rain in portions of northern Venezuela later today. But yeah, watching down here, this area of Venezuela, we are seeing heavier rain moving in that area. Anyone have any comments, questions, or concerns, and we will answer them. So that's what we're looking at. Lots of heavy rain right now off the coast, and I do think that's going to descend farther south, and we're going to see some of those heavier rain bands moving into portions of northern Venezuela. And then eventually, same with Colombia. As the storm continues to progress westward, we're going to start seeing more of that heavier rain. You already see some rain bands there just right off the coast of extreme northeastern Colombia right there. So we're watching that, going to see what we're going to see in terms of rain bands and heavier rain with this storm as it continues to move west. In terms of the track, it is supposed to gradually start strengthening and beginning more organized. Right now, it's still a potential tropical cyclone with minimum winds of about 40 miles an hour. Right now, winds aren't going to be a big issue since the core of the storm is really going to remain off to the north of the center of circulation, where you're actually going to see those 40 mile an hour winds. And so, Colombia and Venezuela will not be impacted by these winds unless this actually makes landfall. Then you will be a little bit more impacted. But even then, the winds would only be about between 40 and 45 miles an hour. We're waiting to see how much this storm intensifies over the next several hours. And we do think that once this gets over the Western Caribbean, this will explode in deep thunderstorm activity, and we'll see a lot more convection. And as the convective processes do occur, we do expect to see winds increase to 45, 50, 60, and then prior to landfall there in southern Nicaragua, northern Costa Rica, we could see those winds peak at around 70 miles an hour before landfall. We do believe that this storm is going to be a lot more well organized and more well developed, and we do believe that this storm is going to be a much more defined system. It is not going to look like a stretched out, terrible looking system. We do think this storm is going to get its act together relatively quickly. Once it gets over the Western Caribbean, then we're going to see the storm really take shape, and there's going to be, we do believe it might not slow down a lot, but maybe slow down a little bit so the two centers of circulation can actually line up properly. That is currently what we are waiting for. Once the circulation gets right on top of each other, you got the mid-level and you have the low level and you have the mid-level right on top of each other, then the storm is going to be able to develop a lot sooner, because right now it's kind of lopsided. You have the mid-level west and you have the low level east. They need to line up. If they can line up, the storm is going to develop a lot better, and that's the reason it's like that right now, is because the mid-level is moving faster than the low level. The low level is moving at 30 miles an hour, we believe, and the mid-level could be moving at 32 or 35 miles an hour. And so that's what we're seeing right now. The mid-level is moving faster than the low level, and it's creating its own sheared environment. When storms are moving super fast, like this one happens to be moving at 30 miles an hour, they create their own sheared environment, and they're not able to develop as quickly as, a tropical storm moving at 10 miles an hour. Everything is a lot more uniform. Everything is able to stay together. And when you have something moving at over 30 miles an hour, everything's just sort of falling apart. And that's because of that high pressure. You have those high pressures moves counterclockwise, and it's pushing this storm through the southern Caribbean Sea at over 30 miles an hour right now. So that is the explanation of why this is just simply just taking, honestly, so long to develop. Is because of that high pressure. I do want to pull up this. What is this? Excuse me. Oh yes, this is good. This is really, really good. This is also really helpful. Actually, let me just. This is weird. Okay. So you can see here where the system is actually at. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining the stream. We highly appreciate it. So this is where the system is currently located at. You can see it right here. Got the deep thunderstorm activity. You can see the outflow channels moving up through the upper level, up through right the northern windward islands. You can see the descending air over the northern Atlantic. There's a lot of clear skies. You can see that. You can kind of see, looks like a frontal boundary right through here. You can see the other system right out here. And then you can actually see some more activity coming off the coast of Africa. I mean, the MDR is just, the main development region has just been oddly active lately in terms of just tropical waves and moisture and just tropical energy coming off the coast of Africa. This one really took a lot longer than I was expecting. I thought it would kind of develop a little bit quicker, but because it's so far south and then because the high pressure and those westerlies are pushing the storm so fast, simply the storm is having such a hard time developing. It needs to slow down so it can take time and get the mid-level and the low-level circulation stacked on top of each other so it's vertically stacked, and then that's when we think the storm is going to develop. But once that happens, we do think it's going to slow down a little bit, not a whole lot, but once it gets farther away and it's not as influenced by that high pressure, we do think that the storm is going to become more vertically stacked, and that's when it's going to be able to develop, and we're going to see it look a lot more well developed there in the Western Pacific, the Western Caribbean, excuse me. And then we do think it could intensify beyond 40 to 50 to 60 and possibly make landfall as a strong high-end tropical storm of between 65 and 70 miles an hour. They are showing southern Nicaragua, so Nicaragua, Costa Rica are really going to be infected by the storm and everything in that general area. Heavy rains, gusty winds in that area for Nicaragua. So we're going to be really monitoring the development of that storm, for sure. Let's see, things I still need to go over. We're still going to look at the... Oh, would you look at that? I can see all the states. Look at that. It's crazy. It's crazy stuff there. Going to go to tropical tidbits here. And just look at some stuff here. I don't think there's an aircraft reconnaissance. Yeah, at the moment there's not an aircraft reconnaissance. But again, this is potential Tropical Cyclone 2 at 35 knots, which is at around 40 miles per hour. 10 millibars. Not super crazy in terms of air pressure. Air pressure is certainly lower. Certainly higher than really what you need for a tropical storm. 1014, like 1010, should be more like 1005 millibars at this point. We do anticipate this to become a tropical storm at the next 10 a.m. update. It could be a tropical storm, and that is what we're expecting. I'm going to go over the National Hurricane Center and explain a little bit of what's going on right now. Wow, it only has a 40% chance of development. An area low pressure is producing disorganized showers and thunderstorms activity over the northwestern Gulf of Mexico. The system is forecast to move slowly westward and approach the coast of Texas today. The disturbance has not become better organized since yesterday. However, some slow development is still possible, and it could become a short-lived tropical depression near the coast before it moves inland tonight or early Thursday, and regardless of development. So we do have an aircraft reconnaissance reserve Hurricane Hunter plane is scheduled to investigate the disturbance this afternoon. So that's interesting. You can kind of see a little bit of shear cutting across it a little bit. In terms of where the center circulation is at, it is completely exposed, as you can clearly see from this satellite image. So if we take a look at potential Tropical Cyclone 2, finally, it's gone up. Now an 80% chance of development in the next 48 hours. has really taken its time. And the service continues moving rapidly westward across the southern Caribbean Sea. It is at about 300 kilometers east-southeast of Curacao, about 185 miles, at about 350 miles, which is about 565 kilometers east of the northern tip of the Guara Peninsula of Colombia. Maximum sustained winds remain at 40 miles an hour, that's about 65 kilometers per hour, and is moving at west about 280 degrees at 30 miles an hour, 48 kilometers an hour, and the minimum central air pressure is 10 millibars. I do want to look a little bit at the discussion and get an idea of what they're talking about. One reason that the system has been unable to close off the circulation is the rapid speed. Just like I was saying earlier in the stream, there's a much quicker speed, and that because there's a quicker speed, it's created a little bit more wind shear. It's creating its own wind shear environment, and it's not able to. The centers aren't able to stack on top of each other at the moment, and that's currently what's happening. So, western part of the Atlantic Basin, the low could even lose latitude over the southwestern Caribbean due to the orientation of the mid-level ridge, which more models are showing in the new forecast is faster than the previous one. So the disturbance will probably be struggling with or recovering from land interaction over the next day or so. So little intensification is shown during that time. Thereafter, the environment should be more conducive for significant strengthening, but it is unknown what kind of structure the system will have to potentially take advantage of the conducive environment. So we're closely monitoring to see what happens with this system. Right now, as you can see, this is what they are showing. I want to go back to this and kind of explain what I mean. I come down here. They are showing a tropical cyclone in 12 hours at 45 miles an hour. And again, it is expected to make landfall with winds of roughly 70 miles an hour right there. That's something I do want to point out. 70 mile an hour winds is what they are expecting it to have landfall at. Any comments, questions, or concerns, I will answer. I do want to show y'all our latest tweets from, we have tweeted like 98 times, goddamn. So here's our latest tweet that we are going to show, as you can see here. On this day in 2004, Super Typhoon Mendel, reached its peak intensity of 125 knots. That's at 916 millibars. Mendel caused 56 deaths with $833 million in damages in 2004 in southern Taiwan. Flooding was the worst experience in the previous 25 years. It was absolutely terrible. A horrible storm. Here, potential Tropical Cyclone 2 is expected to become a tropical storm over the next few days. Significant impacts are likely in Central America, especially Nicaragua and Costa Rica. This is what we got right now. This is unofficial. This is not the official. So this is what we got. It's still a potential tropical cyclone, and it's expected to move west. Could still become a hurricane. It really depends on how fast and how rapid the storm intensifies over the Western Caribbean. But for the next several days, it's just kind of, you know, it's kind of like riding the northern coast. And simply, it's just not able to develop. It's moving too fast. The centers aren't able to line up. The mid-level and the low-level aren't able to line up because it's moving too fast. Because of the high pressure, the westerlies are pushing this storm very far west at 30 miles an hour. So right now, it's going to sort of remain a crappy system. It's not going to be able to intensify very much. That is what we are seeing right now. And then, this is what we got. Potential Tropical Cyclone 2 over the next 5 days. We do believe there will be a pretty moderately to a high chance of impacts there in Costa Rica and northern Costa Rica and southern Nicaragua, depending on where this makes landfall. And we do have reason to believe that there could be pretty significant damage there because of flooding and obviously heavy rain, gusty winds, moderately strong winds, possibly even storm surge. That's also a possibility also. The potential Tropical Cyclone 2 is likely to become a tropical cyclone or storm over the next several days. But yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. Very, very, very incredible with what this storm has shown us for what we have now. Back to the satellite imagery over here. There's the system right now as we speak. That's what we're looking at with this system. As you can see, let me just put this in full. I'm going to wait and see when. I'm going to actually ask, y'all know, does anyone know when aircraft reconnaissance is supposed to take off today? Might actually say it from the National Hurricane Center website. Very curious about what they are saying, because I do think they are, because I do know they are taking off, and they are expected to take off today. Data and tools, aircraft reconnaissance. For Atlantic RECON, observations, tropical cyclone. That was the last report. Trying to figure out when in the world this one. So I'm going to wait for them to reply so we have an idea. So reconnaissance is going to take off at 1500 UTC. So that's going to be in about 3 hours. But this is going to be another long stream. And we will be doing some more live coverage as the storm continues to make those impacts in Venezuela and other areas. So just so we know, we got this area right here. Air pressure 1013 millibars. I do want to look at conditions in this area because there's actually weather stations I can use. I completely forget WSV3 has the option where I can use weather stations. So I could look at wind gusts, for example. See, look at this. 40 mile an hour wind gusts. Look at those winds are 20 to 30 miles an hour. With those winds gusting to over 40 miles an hour at times. Hoping this goes right by a weather station, so we can actually see if the winds reach tropical storm force or not. You can see right here, it might go over this weather station right in this area right here over the next several hours. Yeah, look at that. Winds at about 12 miles an hour, those gusts to over 26 miles an hour. So that's something else we're watching. So we're actually able to look at the conditions right now. I could actually put this live. See what the center's like, yeah, way over here or something. And you can actually see winds gusting to 26 miles an hour. I can see pure water temperatures if I wanted to, or just air temperature. Now this is, I don't know if this is ship observations or buoy. Well, as you can see all the way up here. Oh yeah. It's pretty crazy what we can see here. 41 mile an hour wind gusts up here. Those winds being at 26 miles per hour. So we can really see with everything that we have, with the tools that I have right here, I can certainly be, I'm certainly have the ability to look at what I need to. I can see how high the waves are. 9-foot waves. Wave period is 6 seconds. It says 9, but I can see the air pressure. I can see the wind gust. That's always really cool. Yeah, look at that 9-foot wave. It says wave height 3 feet, but here it says 9. that is what we have right now. Very, very incredible stuff we can have. I do want to take a look at. Right now, there's not a lot going on, so there's not a whole lot for me to actually talk about. So that is those are the conditions right now around the area. So, okay. So what we have is, we do have winds of 20 to 30 miles an hour in these areas. Some of these winds gusting to over 40 miles an hour. So we do have tropical storm force wind gusts have been reported, as y'all can see, as I just showed y'all. We do have those tropical storm force wind gusts that have been reported. So I'm going to go to windy.com because they also have weather stations that we can use, and they are very, very, very helpful. And we can get a lot of weather data from them also. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to windy.com. Alright, let's see what we got here. So right here you can clearly see there is some sort of a broad rotation of a system right here. Weather stations, cameras. Sure, reporting wind, I guess. Just so y'all know, this will be another really long stream. Dude, it looks like it has a closed low. It doesn't look broad at all to me. That looks significantly tighter than it did earlier today. Seems like this is it's really tightened off a lot. Wow, look at that. It looks a lot tighter, a lot more robust at the low levels of the atmosphere. As you can see here, 30 knots. So you do have those winds of 35, 36 or so miles an hour. We can look in this area, 30, 31 miles an hour, 32 knots, I should say. So those winds, oh my god. Why are they not receiving enough data? Because I have really fast internet. It must simply just be my computer. My computer must simply be too slow because I'm running too much stuff at once. Clouds, waves. I want to take a look at the... Are there any cameras on here? I don't doubt there's any cameras that are properly working. Like, I want a actual live camera. That would be great. 14 minutes ago. Nothing super crazy. Overcast, cloudy. Not seeing anything crazy. Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing this morning? Hope y'all are doing fine this morning. We are currently watching and monitoring where this system is at. You're still getting that onshore flow on the east side from Trinidad and Tobago from the storm, even though it passed out freaking forever ago. More layers. I'm gonna freaking find not man, I want to do because they say I can do and look at weather stations on windy, but I'm not exactly sure how to do it. So I'm gonna figure it out until I find it. I don't want an air quality station. I want a weather station. Maybe reported wind is the closest thing that they have. If you're new to the channel, Guess we can do that. Currently, nothing super crazy in this area. We zoom in here, you can really see there is more onshore flow. Let me just get out of this right quickly. You can certainly see the onshore flow through these other islands. Okay, I wish windy was a little bit better than just like this. Okay, certainly onshore flow here, a little bit of some rough seas. Really, where is it expected to strike? It's supposed to just kind of move along the northern coast of Colombia and Venezuela. Colombia. It might actually make landfall over here later today. We'll be doing live coverage all day with this storm. Okay, let me repeat that. Doing live coverage for several hours, and then we'll take breaks momentarily throughout the day because there is a lot that we have to talk about. So I do expect this storm to make landfall. If this continues, it's going to make landfall through here. But later we do anticipate the storm to eventually move back over the waters, but it is so close to the shoreline already. So we do expect the storm could very soon in the next several hours actually make landfall. And I keep wanting to say this is Colombia, but this is Venezuela. I don't know why. Yeah, this is Venezuela. This is Colombia. Could momentarily make landfall there. Radar and satellite. Do they have radar here? Ah, yes, radar. See if this freaking thing would load. Wish this was a little bit more smoother, to be honest. God dang, bro. So, this is what we're watching. You can see the heavy rain moving in this area. Heavier rain moving in this area. If I just take a look at the past 12 hours. This is going to take a minute. This is radar, not satellite, but we are going to be closely watching and monitoring all the rain that we will be getting from this storm alone. So lots of lightning, as you can see. Lots of heavy rain. Pockets of moderate to heavy rain are possible with this system for sure. That's what we got there. I do want to go to satellite momentarily and take a look and see what we got with our satellite right here. Whew. What a complicated looking storm. This is visible, infrared. So cloud height and cloud temperature, as you can see, very, 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 very cold. Like literally the coldest ever, -70 degrees centigrade. So extremely, extremely cold. With what we have right there. So we're going to continue talking about this. Here's more and better satellite, as you can see here. So you can clearly see there is convection with this storm. There is more rotation, a little bit better rotation with this system. It's loading, so just give it a minute while it loads. So as you can see, the storm is very, very broad still. There's a lot of cloudiness over a large area. And that's something we're closely monitoring. Simply because since we have all this, we have this broad amount of energy over this large area. It's still relatively broad here, as you can see. But we do believe the center of circulation might actually be right down here, which might actually be closer to where the mid-level circulation is at. And I do think the storm is becoming a little bit more organized. It's starting to look a little bit better. It's taking an extremely long time. It's taking like weeks, days, literally days, for the storm to really organize and become a better defined and a more organized system. From what we have right now, it's still very, very broad, not very well developed at all. Any comments, questions, or concerns that anybody has, I will answer them. I do apologize that everything is very, very glitchy right now. Evidently, my computer is not powerful enough because it is just super, super freaking glitchy, and it's not fun. I don't like it at all. I'll be honest, I hate it. I do want to look at any comments, questions, or concerns that anybody has. Feel free to go to the chat and comment any questions that you do have. Okay. We have, well, just gonna, alright. Oh my god, can you fucking stop? Freaking stop, I'm sorry, this is like, this is off. I don't got like time for this. I have a stream I gotta do. It would be so nice if people wouldn't go around going in the chat and putting extremely inappropriate stuff. That is. Thank you. Okay, there we go. So, with this storm, we're going to continue to monitor it and watch as the storm continues to progress off to the west. And as you can see, those, not a whole lot of rain, obviously, with it. That's a whole lot of heavy rain with it right now. But there's certainly a lot of moisture with this, and there's certainly an incredibly large amount of moisture with the storm. Click on the reported wind thing on Windy, it will show more information. So let's say I wish there was one like right here. There's actually a lot of information here. Like, holy shit, there's so much. See what we got here. Oh, this one. Yeah, 35 minutes ago, temperature. What the heck? I can't see all the info. I want to see all the information. I don't like this at all. This isn't funny. I'm trying to figure this out. I want to figure out how to do this. Oh, Flamingo International Airport. What an interesting name that would be. Oh, there we go. Wind 8 knots. Wind direction at 70 degrees. Dew point 75 degrees. Temperature 77 degrees. So it's like 95% humidity or something like that. Extremely high concentrations of moisture in the atmosphere. Although I wish it would just give me the. I wish it would just give me what I wanted to look at. You know. That would be great. I think it's like so glitchy right now. I hate this. So much. I can see the nearest weather stations. Three minutes go. So 86 degrees, 11 degrees, winds of 14, gusts of up to 17 miles an hour, or I assume it's miles per hour. Any comments, questions, or concerns that y'all have that I should answer? Any comments, questions, or concerns, I will answer. That's what we got latest with this right now. Finally it shifted west, but now this part is off. 40 miles an hour, moving to the west at 30 miles an hour. So this is a fast and rapidly moving tropical system. Let me just see how laggy my stream currently is right now. Yeah, my computer is just not capable of powering through all of this. That's quite evident and quite obvious, and there's nothing I can do about that. I don't know what to do. There's nothing I can do about it right now. Yep, good morning, everyone. I'm going to actually remove... Maybe that will make it a little bit better and a little bit faster. Not really sure what to talk about right now, but with what we were watching, we still have that storm producing plenty of heavy rain in the area. Oh my god. There we go. Gonna put this into motion and continue to talk about what we have going on here. So as you can see, there is more. We're starting to see a little bit more convection of a little bit more thunderstorm activity with this system and what we have right now. And I do think we're going to continue to see this continue to happen and continue to increase over the next several hours as the storm continues to progress westward. It's going to eventually make landfall there in Venezuela here in the next several hours. And when that does happen, we will keep y'all updated on what happens. Yeah, I hear stream is extremely laggy. I'm not sure what to do about it. Stream is very laggy. Close out everything you don't need. Well, what is this? Feedback hub? I don't need that. I really don't need chat open. I have everything open that I need. So, I'm going to have to get a more powerful computer. It's just simply not able to, I guess, comprehend everything that's going on right now. It's not able to get everything it needs. I'm gonna hopefully wait for it to become a little bit better. It's just not going good. I wish what's his name was on right now, so I could actually have him go on his side and do the stream, because my computer obviously is just not capable of the power that it simply needs. Yeah, it's quite evident that I need a more powerful computer. Which really sucks, and I don't want to end the stream now because I've only been streaming for like 40 minutes or so, and I want to keep streaming. I really enjoy this. I enjoy this a lot. I'm having fun right now, and this is really enjoyable right now. But I kind of need someone else to be online right now, because I'm like, I don't really know what to talk about. So what we have, there it is, potential tropical cyclone 1 there, and it's just being so laggy. Yeah, even OBS is starting to lag like crazy. My internet is fine. I don't have a problem with internet speed. The internet speed is not the problem. The problem is my computer. Simply just not. I can hear my fan.